Elizabeth B. here, and I'm with Jensen of Ojai Valley MMA. Hi, John.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Please describe your business.
Well, we have a mixed martial arts school in Oakview. A lot of people think of MMA or mixed martial arts, they think of the UFC. That's part of it, but it's not actually what we're doing here. We don't have any fighters here. We're just taking different martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, wrestling, judo, sambo, catch wrestling, one of my favorites. And we're just taking all of those and mixing them together. Even our kickboxing is a mixture of Western boxing, hands, and Muay Thai legs. So we're taking martial arts and we're mixing them together to come up with something that's holistic. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
What made you decide to open?
Well, I've had gyms in the past. We had a gym when we lived in Australia, and then we had Millennia. It used to be Millennia Jiu-Jitsu, now it's Millennia Mixed Martial Arts, and there's two gyms that are still there in Rancho Cucamonga and Chino. And great gym, so if you're out in that area, definitely go check them out. But we started in Pomona,
okay.
And we had a big fight gym. We had 18 pro fighters. We had an apartment for fighters to live in.
Wow.
Dan Henderson used to come and train with us all the time. We had visitors all the time, and it was just a really great gym. But that was a fight gym. We had a cage in the basement, and it was pretty crazy, you know.
Wow.
Fixing broken noses and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to do that anymore because I'm old and lazy, and so I just wanted to have a place where families can come. And the one thing, maybe your listeners are too young to remember the show Cheers, but in the song it's like you want to go somewhere where everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
And that's what this place is, and it's what I wanted it to be when I started. It's like I want to start a martial arts school where everyone feels comfortable and everyone feels loved, and it's really like that, which I think is pretty cool, that we've been able to, you know, sometimes you have a really good idea but it doesn't quite come off,
right.
You know, but it's actually really good if the person who's choking you loves you too, because then you don't wind up you sleeping. So
why did you choose this profession?
Yeah, well, I think my dad would say because I'm an idiot, but I was an adrenaline junkie my whole life. I used to skateboard in empty swimming pools. You don't really have to say empty, right? Because skateboarding in full swimming pools doesn't make any sense. So I used to skateboard in ramps and all that kind of stuff. I remember jumping off the house at where I lived. I just jumped off the house without a skateboard. I just jumped off just
to see what it would be like.
So my whole life I've just been an adrenaline junkie. In fact, I did Portuguese bullfighting from the age of 15 to 20.
Holy crap.
And yeah, I just had some friends that were into that. Their parents, they were very Portuguese. Their parents came from Portugal, and they put these bullfights on in Portuguese communities around California. And Portuguese style bullfighting is different. You know, we didn't have no cape. So 8 of us would get in a row, and the guy in front gets the bull to charge and lets the bull hit him.
Oh my God.
Grabs it around the neck, and everyone kind of piles on his back. And
like Marshawn Lynch.
and you stop the bull.
Yeah.
Or he runs over you. And so I did that. I did everything. And then I was a wrestler in high school, and I always thought wrestling was the best martial art. I never lost a fight, and I did get in more fights than I should have. But then I saw the UFC, and I was like, oh man, I want to try this jiu-jitsu because it's like wrestling with all these extra parts to it. And so I started training jiu-jitsu, and I'm kind of an entrepreneur, like even with my church stuff, you know, when I got heavily into church when I was young, it's like I wasn't as much of a joiner as a starter, and like my wife and I have started like helped start like over 16 churches. And so, so we just started a gym back in the day, and since then, when it makes sense, we've started gyms. And when we moved here from Long Beach, I kept working in Long Beach for a while, and I would drive down and I would stay down there and I'd drive back up. And I don't like sleeping in another bed. I don't like being away from my wife. And so we just said, well, what are we gonna do? And at the time I was into making tobacco pipes. So I hand carved tobacco pipes out of imported Mediterranean briar, and they were nice, and I was making money, and so I was doing that, and I was kind of supporting the family making pipes. But we realized that that's so up and down, and sometimes if I don't sell a pipe in a month, I don't have any money. So we thought, there's no jiu-jitsu, there's no real MMA stuff in the Ojai Valley. So why don't we get some mats and start a business?
Yeah.
And so we did that, and it's been 5 years. We started in a youth room in a church, but there was no signage or anything like that. So we've been in this building for 4 years, and once we got here, it just kind of took off. We took a dip when the fires happened. But we're going great now. We got good classes, and our kids program is really doing well, and I'm really proud of that. That's one of the things that I really care about is being part of training up the next generation to inhabit a world that's going to need some help.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, for
sure. What are your goals over the next year?
Well, I would like to double our kids program.
Okay.
So I think that's probably my main focus. It's funny because I really didn't think that I would have the patience to deal with the kids.
Right.
We had a kids instructor, and that didn't work out, and so I said, you know what, I'm gonna take over the kids instruction myself. And I was worried, it's like I'm 53 years old. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Man, those classes are what get me through the day now. I love those classes. I love being with the kids. I have so much fun, and when you see them growing and learning and starting to understand the values that we talk about, it's like that's the best thing. If I can pass on anything into the future, that's what I want to do. So I love those classes. I love my adult classes too, but
they hold a special place in your heart.
Yeah. And I can beat them all too, which makes it even better,
For sure. Why did you choose Oakview?
Well, we live in Oakview. We live like if I don't wind up getting caught at one of the two lights on the way, I can get here in a minute.
Nice.
So it's pretty nice. I could probably walk here in 10 minutes, but it's all uphill, and going home would be easy, but coming here, I'm gonna work out when I'm here. I don't want to work out on the way here. Yeah. So, but plus, I grew up in a working class area. I like being in a working class area. I just feel like I fit in here, and so it's just a nice place for me. And I mean, if you look out the front window, it's beautiful. Just these beautiful hills with oak trees, and I lived in cities most of my life, and this is just super cool for me. So I like it here. I think the rent's probably a little bit too high for me in Ojai, and I'm not going to go down into Ventura. It's we're close enough to Ventura where we could train together and stuff like that. But this is my business. I want it to be a little closer to my home. For sure. So I think from this side of Ventura, it takes about 10, 15 minutes to get here, which isn't too bad.
No.
But
and it's worth it.
it is worth the drive. It for sure is worth the drive. But I think that for me, it was just like, I just want to be really close to home.
Yeah.
And I like this building. My landlord just completely he renovated everything. New
Wow.
roof, new plaster, new storefront. It was all brand new, exactly the way I wanted it. And
That's
so,
wonderful.
yeah, it was great. And I like him, and he's really cool, and he's, he owns the laundromat next door.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like it here.
Very cool.
So,
Why do you think it's important to shop local?
yeah, we're in it. It's hard, I mean, I got to admit, I buy stuff online too, but most of the time when I buy online, it's stuff that is rare and it's hard to get.
Or you can't get it.
You can't get it. So
Yeah.
I'm the president of the Ojai Valley Cactus and Succulent Society. I didn't tell you that, but yeah. And so there's certain cactus and succulent that you're not going to find at a local nursery.
Right.
And if you could, I would get it there.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, and I think I told you this already. There's certain pillars that hold up society. And, one would be politics, and one would be, your food source, and then the other would be your arts and entertainment. But then the last one is the economy. And when you're talking about a society, when you're talking about the culture of an area, you need to take part in the economy of that culture if you want your culture to stand up. And if you stop participating in the economy of it, then all of a sudden that culture is weakened. And in today's world where everything is big, huge, it's like, I don't believe there's an empire anymore that's, the United States Empire or the
Right.
British Empire or anything like that.
It's like world
I
empire.
think it's international corporations run the world right now.
Yeah.
And I would much rather work with my neighbors than take part in this international empire. So there's the anarchist in me coming out a little bit, yeah. So.
Do you have anything exciting going on here at Ojai Valley MMA? In the
Well,
near
right
future?
now we got the back to school special, so I think that it's 10 to 15% off of all of our
cool.
memberships. So that'll be going all through September. So we have that, and that's really exciting. And then I do know that this is in the future a little bit, but we always have a big sale over the Black Friday weekend.
Okay.
So we've got that going on. But man, it's a great time to sign up during our back to school specials. And people in Ojai area, your kids might bring home a flyer about our kids program. Man, I'd really encourage you to come down and check it out. We've worked really hard to make our kids program more important than just learning a martial art, which I think by itself is important. If your kids are more confident and more secure, that's really important.
Yeah.
I tell people, this is astonishing to me, but for women that have been sexually assaulted, 80% of them, it happened in the first 2 years of college, right? So we want our young girls to be going off to college able to defend themselves
Yes.
and secure and confident. So, this is important just if all it was a martial arts school, but I think it's more than that. I think it's a place where especially the kids are learning and growing in values that are going to help them become better people. So with that said, yeah, I really encourage you to come down. And if they don't like it, that's fine. I understand not everything is for everyone, but it doesn't hurt to try, and we offer free trials, so you might as well come down and give it a shot. So
Thank you, John.
thank
It
you.
was such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for letting us come down.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I just I talk a lot, so
It's okay.
you probably didn't ask half the questions because I just kept talking and talking. So
It's all right. You covered a lot of them, actually.
okay, good.
Have the best day ever.